The creative services of Hugo de Verteuil and Diane Rothwell. Unimaginable wealth. In an office 1,108.74 miles away.
Babu, pack your bags and get your ass to Tripoli. The plane leaves in 3 hours. You'll love the Hotel Corinthia. I've read some great reviews.
Jack Thompson raced his Jeep Patriot Mk74 through the border control at Niue, gaining entry into the Ivory Coast through Ghana. He was on the run. He had found his father's body 2 nights ago, bloodshot eyes wide open as if on pause after witnessing something truly horrific, with white foam spewing from his mouth onto the pillow. He hadn't joined the ritual victory feast that evening, such was the guilt he felt. He couldn't stomach the ashen faces of his tribesmen. He had not joined the soldiers on their assignment in Congo despite being the same age as most of the young warriors. When the troops returned with the news of their company's massacre, his instincts told him that nothing would be the same again. Evidently his minor abuse of power had nearly cost him his life anyway. He had returned to his father's home late that evening after visiting the whorehouses of Lomé, to witness his father and mother's undignified demise. He removed the key attached to a silver necklace around his father's neck. After using it to open the trapdoor to the household cellar, he removed the large metallic box containing the unimaginable reward his tribe had been given for their services in the Democratic Republic of Congo. He grabbed the money and ran. Only whilst driving through the vast palm plantations of the Ivory Coast did Jack come to realize the ramifications of his actions. The tribesmen were not going to accept his escape and theft of their only chance of a prosperous future. He would have to assume he was being followed. Taking a sharp left off the main machine guiding him to Abidjan, snarled at him, "You are going the wrong way." Jack swiftly unplugged the machine, glad to be free from its crude bit-crushed computer-generated voice. It would be all right. He vaguely knew the way to the capital. His father's old friend Dr. Angbosen Ouattara, a cocoa import-export man, resided there. He had made this trip many times before. But always at leisure, he arrived at the house of Dr. Ouattara in the early afternoon. A strong wind was picking up and the sky was growing steadily jaundiced and cloudy, but still it was warm enough not to wear a jacket. Dr. Ouattara's elegant townhouse was in the wealthy district of Abidjan. Jack parked his car and thought about the chaos that would break the tranquility of the area should his pursuers find him. Checking his reflection in the wing mirrors, he put this out of his mind and went to ring the doorbell. A moment later he heard female footsteps approach the door. It opened. A beautiful young woman, about 21 years old, opened the door holding a glass of lipstick pink rose wine. She stood there, hand on cocked hip, and looked at him with a peculiar expression.
"Who are you? I know you, don't I?"
she exclaimed.
"Ha, don't you remember?"
Jack removed his sunglasses.
"It's me, Jack. Jack Thompson,"
he inquired.
"Oh my God, Jack Thompson. It's been so long."
She stared at him, willing him to respond, but he did not. Sarah broke the awkward silence, turning and shouting,
"Daddy, it's Jack Thompson and the Arroys. Come down quick. And come in, won't you, Jack? God, it's hot outside. Come in, we've got air conditioning in here."
Jack entered the house, clutching the metallic box to his chest.
"Wait, Sarah, I have come alone. I have come with some bad news. My."
"Alone? How odd. Please sit down, God. Would you like a glass of wine?"
"I fear you are not listening to me properly, but I will take a glass."
As Sarah poured Jack a glass of wine, Dr. Ouattara entered the room.
"Jack, my boy, fantastic to see you. It's been forever. Why did you stop coming with your father to visit me? It's hard going for a man in a house full of women, you know."
Chuckled.
"Come here and give me some love."
The giant elderly man held out his white besuited arms, wearing a genial expression completely at odds with Jack's inner turmoil. His long white beard brushed Jack's cheek coarsely as they embraced.
To what do we owe this unexpected pleasure? And where is your father?
I am afraid I am the bearer of bad news.
Jack said quietly.
My father was killed 3 nights ago. Poisoned to death by his own tribesmen.
A silence. Sarah lowered her wine glass and placed it on the coffee table. Dr. Water shuddered, stunned by the news, and fell back into an open armchair.
I can't believe it. He was sitting in this very room less than a month ago.
He put his head in his hands.
The tribe were greatly angered by the events in the south. My father took a risk and paid with his life.
What about you? How did you escape?
I was not at the feast. I knew in my gut that something was wrong. I went into Lome, and when I returned late that night I found his body and that of my mother. I just got in the jeep and ran.
But here?
Dr. Water shouted, suddenly angry.
You would bring the wrath of your tribe onto my house. How stupid can you be?
Please, doctor, I am sorry. I didn't know what else to do. There is nowhere else for me to go. I am throwing myself at your mercy. I can assure you, I took all the necessary precautions to throw the tribe off my trail. They can't have followed me here.
Don't be so foolish. You know they will catch up with you eventually.
Please, I need your help.
Jack blurted.
I am carrying my father's treasure. I need to hide it somewhere. I was thinking that maybe we could come to some kind of arrangement. I would be willing to invest.
The doctor, standing now, interrupted him.
Look, Jack, if we are going to talk, we have to go somewhere else. I can't jeopardize the safety of my daughter.
Turning to pick up his jacket and briefcase from the breakfast counter, he spoke firmly.
Sarah, please, go to the beach house for the night.
The doctor shouted, grasping her arm and pulling her out of the chair lightly. Sarah looked at her father, complacently sipping her wine.
Okay, I'm going.
His daughter squeaked, rushing out of the room, her high heels clicking on the tiled floor. Dr. Water looked at the cold metal box at Jack's feet, as if noticing it for the first time.
Okay, Jack, we will go downtown. I know a cafe where we can discuss this properly.